How's it going, Arlemi?
Hello. Doing well.
Hello.
What about you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. I feel like today is going to be a fun day. Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Blindfold Challenge. Today, I am actually going to be flipping the script on Arlemi and challenging him to something really fun. So, before we get started, I'd like to have everyone introduce themselves. So, Arlemi, I guess, do you want to go off?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm Arlemi. I'm a developer advocate at Postman. Just in case it's your first time here, we do weekly live streams on different topics. And this week we are doing a blindfold challenge, so I'm getting challenged. But yeah, I'm located in London, where it's currently a bit grey, but that's what we expect. And I think that's about it about me. Where are you all coming from? I see tons of like hi in the chat. Actually, I can show the chat, and then you can see yourselves.
Yeah, we have lots of people joining in, and it seems like we have a pretty wide team. So, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Pooja. I am a developer advocate here at Postman, and I'm so excited to be working, especially with this specific live stream, since it's always a lot of fun. And I'm based out of Chicago, so I'd love to, connect with everyone. And oh, it looks like some other folks are from Chicago as well. So glad to see interesting faces on the stream. So yeah. So before we jump into today's challenge, we want to describe like what exactly the blindfold challenge is for everyone who might be new?
So I don't know what it's going to be. I can describe like what the process is.
Yeah.
Basically, Pooja came up with an idea. That's something that we need to build with an API. I don't know what it
Hmm.
is.
Hmm.
I guess I'm just gonna get like a one sentence build this, and then I'm
Uh-huh.
just gonna go ahead and surprise, using Postman because you're on the Postman
Yeah.
live stream. I'm
Yep.
gonna try to build whatever she challenges me to build.
Yep. So just so everyone knows, Arlemi has no idea what the API is and what he's going to build. So it's going to be kind of exciting. But this is my first time challenging someone, so it's also very exciting for me. But before we get started, I wanted to do this segment called In Case You Missed It. So we have some really great publications that have recently come out from the Postman team. So, for example, this is a blog that recently came out. And if you're someone that uses Postman, you might be wondering how to work with Postman using the workspaces. So this is a great blog, and it kind of describes like what different workspaces are and how to use them efficiently. We have some beautiful artwork in this as well. So would recommend anyone who's interested in workspaces, how to efficiently work with them, to check this one out. We have some new features as well. So we have we can do mocking with gRPC APIs. So this is a blog that really kind of dives into the use of mock servers with gRPC. So would definitely try to check this one out if your team uses gRPC protocols as
Yeah,
well.
I think for this one, it's worth noting some people may not be aware of that Postman
Yeah,
does support gRPC just as a whole.
as a whole, yeah.
Because I actually saw a comparison of different tools like last week, and some people still think that Postman is REST only. So I think it's always a good reminder to like remember, like remind people that Postman is REST, WebSockets, gRPC, SOAP, and probably more to come.
Yeah. And we have also joined the GraphQL Foundation as well. So this is kind of a newer initiative that we're part of. So this is also a very exciting partnership as well for our users. And if that's something you've worked with GraphQL, definitely check that out as well. And then we have one last announcement, which is like a drum roll announcement. And this is something that is coming soon. So we have version 10 of Postman that is coming soon. It's set to be launched a bit later this year. So this is going to include some really amazing features. And this is just a landing page right now, but where it's going to include a lot of really great things that is happening in V10. Arlemi, do you have any other thoughts on V10?
Well, so it actually says right there at the top, it lists kind of like what are going to be the main features that you can expect from V10. So partner workspaces, native gate integration, more gRPC, API governance, test automation, etc. So that's going to come out anyway at some point for everyone. But if you're
Yeah.
like really interested in any of these, because one of these rings like a bell with you, your team, etc., go to that page. I'm actually going to put in the chat now and join the waitlist. And then you can be one of the first one to be aware of like what's going to be released, when. But also on that page, if you scroll down, there's more details about these different features. There's more description of each of these, so you can understand like better what's coming up and what you can expect from V10, which is going to be released sometime soon.
Sometime soon, definitely. Lots of really interesting changes happening, especially in the Postman ecosystem. But I think today we can talk about that for hours. But I think today it's my time to challenge you. Is it time yet, Arlemi?
I think it is. Let me see. Did we? So we mentioned the workspaces, the mocks
Uh,
for gRPC,
yeah.
GraphQL, which
Uh-huh.
actually I see more in the chat saying we support GraphQL. I did forget to mention it. Yeah, we do support GraphQL. There's
Yeah.
also like some big changes coming around that, and I think us joining the foundation is also like a testament of us like
Yeah.
committing more to the GraphQL ecosystem, which is good. But yeah, that said, I guess I'm ready. I mean, as
Okay.
ready
All
as I can
right.
be. I don't know.
Okay, so this is a very fun challenge. And for anyone who is a music lover like myself, I wanted to challenge Arlemi to basically create a Spotify playlist of his favorite artist's song using Postman. And this can be done in a lot of different ways. So, the first way I wanted you to do it, challenge number one, is to do that challenge the way you know how to do it using the APIs. And then I want us to take a step further and see if we can automate that using a really cool feature, which is Postman flows. So, let's get started. How does that
Okay.
sound to you?
Yeah, I mean, can I just log off now? Or
No. So before we get started, we're going to be working with Spotify. So I feel like I'm sure a lot of people use Spotify, but I need to know, who is your favorite artist
um, well, at the moment or just in general?
in general? Because that's who we're going to work with.
Oof, I don't actually know if I have like an overall favorite.
Okay. I feel like you're in London. So, I mean, I was very much inspired by Adele. So that was what I used. But
Yeah,
yeah.
she would not be my first choice, but we can work with that.
Okay. All
Or
right.
I don't know, maybe like.
I does anyone in the chat want to recommend anyone listening to anyone cool that they recommend?
I mean, I can pick another like UK. I can pick like the Beatles. Actually, isn't quite a bit. Oh, Beyonce,
She just came out with a new album, so
Coldplay. I like Coldplay. We could do Coldplay. That's a
Okay.
good one. I've been listening to that quite a bit. Okay, let's see. The
Okay.
Beatles. Yeah, agreed. Beatles a good one. Let me start sharing my screen.
Okay.
And I'm going to do something that I always hate doing, which is hiding the chat from the screen. But just
Okay.
so you all know, two Billie Eilish coming in. Ed Sheeran. So I'm removing the chat
Okay.
from the screen. We still see your messages, and whenever we see something, we can highlight it on the screen. So keep on like posting your messages, and we can look at them. Harry Styles. I'm not going to do Harry Styles. Okay, so using Spotify.
Okay.
So first things first, I'm going to be in that workspace. That's a
Mm-hmm.
public workspace where I'll be building whatever we're going to build today. And if you want to follow along, you can actually watch here what I'm doing, and I'm posting in the chat.
Yep.
And then you can see what I'm doing. Or you can just watch the stream. That works as well. So Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
At least, so usually when we do Blindfold challenge, we don't even give the name of the API, which is the first part of the challenge, which is like find out like what API you're going to use. But you gave me Spotify, so I'm going to go ahead and find one that is Spotify. So I see there's many.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, what about that one from Postman? How do I know if it's up to date?
Yeah.
So where is this one? It's called Spotify. Right here. And I can see created in 2019.
Yeah. So it's not as up to, there's a lot in there,
Yeah, but it's
but
probably not the latest one.
yeah, you might want to check the docs itself.
Like directly the.
Spotify docs. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find just one that's like more up to date. 2021. That's better.
Okay.
We could start with that.
But
But
that's an
otherwise,
API.
yeah. But I can generate a
Mm-hmm.
Spotify API docs. Okay, I see some familiar names come in. Hello, hello. Okay. So usually when I try to play with an API, I'm going to walk through like my thought process as well as we go, so that everyone can like understand
Yeah.
why I'm clicking different places.
Yeah.
If I want to play with an API, I'll go in here, look at the API network. If there's already one here, if there's a collection or an API that I can use, I'll pick it from here. Second step is go directly to their documentation. So I can see like they have tons of stuff here. I'm probably going to use the web API, and that should give me So it's a REST API. I can see the different requests that they have, how the pagination works, etc. But it doesn't look very complete. Oh, there we go. So the reference API is
Yeah.
the list of all the endpoints
Yeah.
that you need.
Yeah.
And ideally, they give me. So that's a bit annoying. I kind of don't want to have to like go one by one.
No. But let me just remind you of what the challenge is to get your favorite artist's top tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do now is what developers are pretty good at, which is like trying not to repeat things. So I just want to find someone who's done some of the work, and I can just steal it from them. So let me try this. So there's an API here. So I'm going to copy that. I'll go back to the Terra Republic and create a new API. I call it Spotify version 1. I forgot what was the format. Let me see. So it was an OpenAPI 3 and JSON. So OpenAPI 3, JSON, and create. Okay. And then I can paste my definition. And from here, it says it's invalid. So I might not be able to do what I wanted. Okay, never mind. So we won't do that. It's a bit sad. I'm going to have to create all from scratch. Okay. New collection.
New collection.
Called Spotify top.
Tracks. Yeah.
And then I'm going to star this. So it's at the top here, and I don't have to like struggle to find it. Also, like, by the way, in the chat, if there's like any problem seeing what I'm doing on screen, if I'm going too fast, if I need to zoom in, etc., do let me know. Because sometimes I may just be like in a flow, and then I don't see what's happening. Okay, so tracks. Check users, get tracks, audio feature.
Okay.
Get users saves tracked. No.
But that's your users. So
Yeah. Get current. Oh, users top items.
that's your top items.
Is it? Is it not what we want?
Well, you want to get your favorite artists' top tracks.
Okay, but if I get my top artist from here,
But then how are we going to get Coldplay? Because what if your top artist is like
okay.
Stromae or like, I don't know,
So
Adele?
artists get artist top tracks. Okay, there you go. I see. So that's good. But I can see it's using OAuth 2.0. So let me first. Yeah, I see Jesse saying, "Would you use the endpoint in artists?"
Yep.
Yeah, looks like that's what I'm going to use. So again, what I'm going to do now, which is another thing you can do in Postman, instead of like recreating that, I'm going to copy this curl example, and then I don't know if it copied or not. In Postman, I can actually import raw text, put my curl request here, and that creates it for me. So now I have this, and I can save it in the collection I just created.
That's pretty
I
cool.
have to create everything. So that's good. Obviously, if I'm calling that, I'm assuming it's just going to tell me no, because I'm not logged in. So here comes the fun part for APIs, which is logging in.
Authentication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was I think it mentioned somewhere. Okay. So that's all. Oof. That's long.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
So I'm quickly going through to see if there's like a login in thing. Guides. Authorization guide.
Okay.
Nice. Which OAuth flow should I use? I want to do OAuth 2 because that's what the API that I'm using requires.
Yeah.
And then okay, so it's leading to the same place.
Yeah.
So I guess
If you.
I'll go ahead and just log into the dashboard
Yep.
of Spotify. I have an account somewhere. So let me do. I'm gonna ask everyone to nicely not try to steal my password. And hopefully, if you see any of my actual top artists, Sean, don't judge me for it. There may be a lot of like random stuff in there. Okay,
Cool.
so I have an account. That's good. And I see someone. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly, Junaid. We'd love to see LinkedIn API challenge next week. We have not done LinkedIn yet, but they have just released the Postman collection. So I can tell you that soon we'll do a live stream with the LinkedIn API because we really want to do that. But I think next week is already set. And yeah, safety first when it comes to API credentials, etc. So I've used the Spotify API before.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Yes.
can I reuse one of these apps? Let's see.
Maybe you can reuse that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Let's see. So I have a client ID. Have a client. Do not look. Should not have shown that. That's fine. User and access. Spotify use. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So this is a little tricky to find the spot, but
They make it look so easy with this
I
graph. Look at
know they
that.
make it look so easy. I guess the hardest part is finding the auth stuff, the stuff. But once you have it,
So
you're good to go.
It looks like they want client ID, response type. So that's the typical OAuth thing.
Okay.
So if I go in Postman and now I look at the headers, I don't think they have anything here. So they have an authorization header,
Yeah.
which probably wants a bearer. But I can go in here. I'm going to hide that. And I can say, oh, actually, let me set it at the
At
collection
the
level
collection.
so
Yep.
we can reuse it. So I'll do OAuth 2.0.
So what are you looking for, Arlemi? Let's start from there.
So I'm looking to set up the authorization at the collection level so that for every single request that I'm going to add later on as we progress with the challenge, I have the auth setups. And then in the documentation, what I'm looking for is how the heck do I get authorized to use the Spotify API? And it sounds like I need some of this, which is, I don't need that. So let's do, I don't have a token yet. So this is going to be Spotify token.
Yep.
Callback URL, we'll leave it at default. Auth
Yep.
URL, we can leave it at default. Client ID is here.
Yes.
I'm going to. So what I
Can you,
can do here, so that you all can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to create a new environment. An environment in Postman are like a way to like store different variables that are all like within the same context. I'm going to call this environment Spotify. I'm going to add a client ID and make it secret. So then you can't actually see what's in there. And then let me copy that on my other screen. Okay. And I'm going to add the client secret. Then I have these two variables set up, my client ID, my client secret. I can go back to my auth and say, this is, select my environment. This is client ID. And this is client secret.
yep.
Probably in the scope. Let's see if they, yeah, okay, they do say scope.
Yeah.
So which one do I need?
So we're going to be working with playlists. So I would say get the read, modify, get all the modify public, private, and the read private.
So these three.
Yeah.
So let's do scopes. This one. This one.
So it looks like people are suggesting APIs to play around with.
Yeah, do suggest APIs. We're actually so
Yeah.
we are planning the live streams monthly. So
Uh-huh.
we're soon going to plan next month, which might be already like fully booked. But any suggestions that you have that we can do in a like future live stream, go for it, because we can use these at some point. State. So this is actually state is something that allows you to make sure that you don't have an attack that, so it's called like cross-site request. So basically you send a request, someone does like an attack in the middle, intercepts your thing, and then gets whatever comes back. So with the state, you can just make sure that you're the one who sent the request, and whatever comes back is what you asked for. I see a question from Ruby saying, why wouldn't you use all the scopes? Why just a few?
I think it depends on like rate limiting as well. Like I think it depends on what kind of APIs you're planning to use. Those are the scopes that you'll want to play around with. I haven't tested that out using them all. I don't know what would happen, but
I also default to like the minimum just for
yeah,
security reasons as well.
yeah,
You want to go for the less permission that you want to ask for, because like the more you're going to ask, the more like validations they're going to ask you, etc.
we have a good question, I think. So, what are we doing? Oh, okay. So, thanks for joining in. We're doing a blindfold challenge where I have challenged Arlemi to take his favorite artists' top tracks from Spotify and create a playlist with that. So, we're just watching him authorize to Spotify and dive into the docs to find the right stuff.
Yeah, and I think Ilan, you probably missed the moment when we said Auth is the less like interesting part of like playing the APIs. Some people probably like it, so I don't want to judge anyone here. But I personally don't really enjoy that part. But once we are done with the Auth, we'll be able to like
Actually
keep
play
going with
around,
the
yeah.
rest. So
Yeah.
I've got some of it set up. I'm just gonna
Okay.
double check that I don't need like a specific redirect URI, etc. So for example, the redirect URI needs to be one that I use when I registered my
Yes.
application.
Yeah.
But what did I use when I registered it? I have no idea. Let's see.
So you can maybe look at your settings.
Website redirect. There we go. No, it's not there actually.
No. You might want to use your callback URL, actually.
So this one.
Yeah. Cool. And just to be safe, maybe remove, I don't know, or you could keep it.
I'll keep it because I think I still
Yeah.
have something else running on this one, so
Yeah.
I don't want to break it. Okay, let's try. Getting no.
No.
Fair enough. Let's see what happened in the console. Invalid host for auth URL.
Yep.
So I didn't set the auth URL?
No. Doesn't look like it. It's empty.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So where am I going to get this one?
This is a scavenger hunt.
When in doubt, Spotify auth URL. Apparently some people also struggle. This be the one?
So that looks like, I think you need that, but I don't think that's the auth URL.
So that would be the token one.
Yeah.
Let's see what they say.
Is there a way to save this session and get a recording? I think you can rewatch this replay after we're done. I believe that it's live and it's on the internet. And also, you can find this on our Postman YouTube channel as well. So if you go to YouTube and search for Postman, you should see all of our streams, our Thursday streams.
So you said it's not the one.
His palms are sweaty.
Yeah. There's nothing in here.
It's in there. It's just a scavenger hunt
It's
to
in
find.
here.
It's in here. Do you want me to give you a hint? Just scroll down a little bit. Scroll. Wait, not. Wait, hold on. Maybe not that one.
It's in one of the subpage probably.
No, it's in the author. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, it's in the code flow subpage with that really fun image that we found so helpful.
This one. Okay.
Yeah. Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. All right, right there.
This one.
Yeah.
That makes sense actually, and I'm pretty sure this. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what websites typically use, and that's what Postman suggested. But you never know. Okay, let's see.
Woohoo!
Something happened. Went way too fast, but something happened, and I have an access token. Also,
Yay.
don't copy it, please. Okay, I'm actually going to do the same and set it as a variable. Set as new variable in my active environment, and it's going to be Spotify token. Nice.
Nice. I think you have everything you need.
So I see Alan is still here. We've not lost him or lost them. Yeah, we have a token. We should be able to use the API now.
Yes.
No.
But it's a bad request, so it doesn't
Okay.
mean that it's wrong.
Missing country parameter.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. So I'm going to close everything that I've opened for the authorization because we have that out of the way.
Uh-huh.
App settings, and go back to where we were at the start, which is
Yes.
this one. So we want to get a specific artist.
Mm-hmm. It's
Top track.
top
Yeah.
tracks. Okay.
Teamwork rocked again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What? So he needs a string.
Yep. It needs
Spotify
a,
ID of the artist.
yeah,
So that's in here.
that. Yeah.
And that actually can be made a path parameter. So if I add like a column right in front of it, this turns that into a path parameter, and this shows it
Mm-hmm.
here. So now I
Mm-hmm.
can put the value here, and it makes it easier to edit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need query parameter, which is market, an ISO 3166-1, whatever.
So one of the example values.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming if I just put like UK, that would work. I should actually go and see. So same again here, I'm
Mm-hmm.
adding in the query parameter market,
Mm-hmm.
and I can set the value here.
Mm-hmm.
But first, is there a link? Yeah, let's just do that. What if it, is there a list somewhere? Yeah, nice. So I'm in the UK, so I'm gonna go for United Kingdom. Not here. Obviously, it is the exception for some reason.
Yeah.
And then I need the ID, and for that I can find it with another, probably another API.
Yeah. You could find
Assuming.
it with another API, or you could find it using your Spotify web player.
Let's see. You may have to use Great Britain. Yeah, I'm not sure. It seemed to be a bit confusing in the, obviously, like United Kingdom. You know what? What we're going to do? When in doubt, just go for one that is not an exception. And then, so I could do it using the web player, but may as well use APIs because that's what we do. So let's see. Let's go back here. Get artists. And you need the Spotify ID of the artist anyway. So how do I
Yeah.
get a Spotify ID using the API? Can you even get a Spotify ID using the API?
What you could do if you didn't want to do your favorite artist, you could browse, and you could browse like,
Okay, browse and search for.
yeah, search for an artist, like browse
Okay.
new releases. Just, and I think that's a good test because at least we can test if your API is working.
Okay, see. So this is when I show my Spotify. Okay. We can do. Can I actually see the IDs from here? Let's do. Probably won't be able to see it here. I would need to be in the browser, right?
Yeah. But I think maybe if you click on it, you could probably copy the link or copy, like if you click on a song or something.
Copy link to artist.
Yeah.
See. And now I have a link. This one.
Right.
Let's go back to the one that explained what it was. Spotify ID base 62 identifier that you can find at the end of the Spotify URI for an artist track. So that would be something similar to that. So probably something similar to this.
Yes. I think that could be it.
Let's try. Invalid ID. Not the one. So this one doesn't have a dash.
Yeah.
Let's see if I copy the link to a song instead. Where am I? Here. That looks better. No.
No.
Okay. Oh, so someone gave me the ID in the chat. Let's see if I can copy that.
Yeah.
Where did you find that, Faraz? If that's the correct one. Let's see. I need to find a way to copy it as well. Okay, there we go. Oh, you said it's part of the exam. It's not the Coldplay one. Non-existing idea. So even the example one doesn't work.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit tricky.
Should I try the web browser?
What I would do if I were you is if I would go on the web browser and then just search Coldplay and you'll see it. It's pretty obvious when you see it that way.
Let's see.
Oh, you feel so much better about coding, the trials and errors.
That's my.
I hear you. This
That's
is
my
why.
NFL draft. I shared the wrong thing. Okay, so that's the web browser.
There we go. Do you see it?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do have too many things open. Okay.
All right. There we go.
Nice.
Cool.
We got somewhere.
We got somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see the comment. I feel so much better about my coding. Yeah, that's like when you see even our videos, like our Postman channel has tons of videos of us like just rushing through code.
Yeah.
But just so you know, whenever we rush through codes, we've struggled before. And especially my videos, I know like I probably recorded them like 5 or 10 times before it gets like smooth. And then we have Shiva. It's been a while. Good evening. Good day. Doing good. Okay. So is that the first challenge achieved? Because I have.
Well, you got those top tracks, which is great. Like I feel like you did a good job. But now we got to create a playlist with some of these top tracks.
Okay, cool. So let me actually see the response. I'm going to change to this view. It's not really giving any more space, so I'm not going to switch to it. So we have an album, and then in the album we have artists, external URLs, images, which don't really care about. Another artists. We are the tracks, so I'm interested in.
Or right there. So, oh wait, that was an album.
Let's try and find in there tracks. There we go. Oh wait, so it's all tracks, and then is that a track? Okay, each of these is a track, and it just tells you. So it goes like album. In this album, that's the artist, and then that's the name of the.
Yep.
Oh no, that's the name of the album.
Yeah.
Total tracks. Track number 4. Okay, so if I need to build something based on that, I'm trying to understand how the JSON works, because I want to know what data I need to get from it.
Yeah, but I would first think about like how would you create your own playlist though?
Okay, so probably use the API.
Yeah.
And this time I'm gonna go in playlists. Let's see, is there a create playlist? So there's a create playlist.
Yeah.
So this one is a post request, and then it requires a bunch of like body parameters. So same again. I'm going to copy this and import it. Recreate it. That's fine. I have my post request. I'll save it to same collection. And this one is going to be list. The authorization is already set to inherit from the collection, so that should be fine. And then there's a few things here. Let's look at the doc. So you need a user ID, which is my ID. So I'm going to turn that into a path parameter again. And what's my user ID? That you can find at the end of the Spotify URI for the user.
So we just, I think we have some people that just joined in. So what Arlemi is trying to do is create a playlist using Spotify's APIs with some of his favorite artists' tracks.
And
So
then
we're
we have
kind of,
Eden. Yeah, completely agreed.
yeah.
Setup is always, it's a pain, but once you have it, then usually that's when you start having fun. Which it may not look like, but I'm having fun. Just so you
Are
know.
you having fun? Isn't
Yeah,
this,
I
is
am.
this,
Yeah, that's what I
yeah?
like doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Have
mean,
you?
I guess if I were on my own, I would just I would have like 50 tabs open already.
Uh-huh.
Like half of them being like different documentation, different like Stack Overflow, etc.
So
So
you
I'm
know,
really
I feel like you have an idea of what I went through earlier this week. So with the blindfold challenge, it's like I can challenge him live, but I was in your shoes like a couple of days ago.
okay. So let me try and get this. To unique string and anything the Spotify user. Find the Spotify URI for the user. Doesn't really tell me anything, does it?
All right, let me know if you need a hint. What are we
Well,
trying to do?
I'm gonna go back
Create.
here. It says so. I'm looking for my username,
Okay.
which I know my username, but I don't
Yeah,
know if it's the one that is being used here or if it's a different one.
it is. It's that one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's the same as I use in every
Yeah.
single thing,
Yeah.
which is just my name. And then I'm gonna call that Postman stream. Should I make it public so that everyone can trying not to break the Spotify API. That's what we do. Okay, let's see. Can I add things already from it, or do I need to first create the API, the playlist, and then add stuff?
First, you need to, I think, create a playlist.
Okay, so I can't like create a playlist and already like say in that playlist put this and that. Let's see. 201 created. Very nice.
Woohoo! Do you want to check that it exists?
Let's see first. So it's false. I'm not gonna add like let other people add stuff. It's got a name. It's got an owner, which is me, and then yeah, cool. Do I get a URL? Yeah, probably that one. No, because that's the API link. Is there like a user-friendly link? Yeah, there you go. Huh. We've got a
Woohoo!
playlist.
Yay!
Nice. You need to make the playlist so you have that ID to reference when adding tracks. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like based on how their backend was built, technically they could like have different steps where they first create the playlist and then use that ID to add the tracks that I'm already passing as parameters. Some services do it that way, but clearly
We
not that one.
we can add Beyonce tracks to it, Rippy. We definitely can. But I think people recommended Beyonce, but Arlemi was too cool for
So
that.
I think the main reason why I didn't make the playlist collaborative was to avoid that, because and it's still on my personal account. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's see. So add items to playlist. So for now, all we're doing is just like step by step. Ideally, we can like automate some of that. So go again. We'll copy this, import it, and this one is
Add tracks.
playlist. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how does this one work? Let me close the rest. We don't need for now. So it needs a playlist ID, which we do have now.
Mm-hmm.
We need a position, so it's going to be where the track is going to go in the playlist order.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need URIs, which is a comma separated list of Spotify URIs to add.
Right.
Then we track our episode. Okay, so one thing we can already do.
And then if you
Uh,
wanted to add multiple songs too, you
yeah.
can do it by array.
So one thing I could have done here
Mm-hmm.
was to set the ID of my playlist, which is likely this one, as
Mm-hmm.
a as a variable, but
Mm-hmm.
programmatically.
Yeah.
Because I've already created it, it's a bit too late, but I'm going to
Yeah.
do it a bit later. So I'm just going to go back to my environment, say playlist ID, and I can feel people getting mad at like how I have like a different like camel case and snake case, etc. everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I just I'm all over the place. Apologies. Okay, so we have a playlist ID. So now in this one, I can do
Mm-hmm.
available is playlist ID.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I need here it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now the question is how am I going to build this string of
Yeah.
tracks,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's where I go back to this one and I try to see like what's in there.
Yeah.
And I need. So what is that? Is that the artist or is that the track? That's not Coldplay.
Yeah, that's not Coldplay. That's so weird.
I guess like whichever
It's,
artist they have as guests on their album.
or I wonder.
And this is an album. Where do I find the track URL?
Wait, this is so interesting. It's like chain smokers and Coldplay.
So it is top tracks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try.
Try. Yeah.
It's probably going to be the same, but so I'm going to go back and try to understand better what this one does.
Mm-hmm.
Top tracks, and then response set of tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an array of objects. Fair enough. The album on which the track appears. Okay, so there's like several albums. The artist who performed the tracks. Okay, and then Spotify ID for the artist.
Name of the
Spotify
artist.
ID.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify ID for the track. That's the
Yeah.
one we're looking for.
Yeah.
So it's in external URLs ID. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right place. Yeah, so it's tracks, external URL, Spotify. So tracks, external URL, Spotify, and that would be what we need. Okay, cool. And so what do I want to do? Do I want to take all of these and put it
Maybe
in the playlist?
you could start off with a couple, and then we could go to the. I mean, we could go from there, and then
Okay.
depending on how much time we have, we can play around with
Yeah,
something
actually
else.
the time is flying
Yeah.
by. Did you say I want to use flows for that.
Well, I wanted to see you do it just like with the APIs, and then we can try to see if we can do it with flows.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oof.
depending on time.
You can ask me to write JavaScript. I'm very rusty. So let's do first. We'll do response, which is whatever comes back from the API. So now in this response object, I have all of that, right? And then I have tracks, which is an array. And then do I know that there's always a tracks dot external URLs dot ID?
I think one thing you should look at though before you start doing this is what is the format that they want the tracks to be in.
I think it's they just want the ID, as far as I remember. Add items to playlist. Yeah. Oh wait.
Oh wait, no. So this is
Yeah. So
it's
okay.
Spotify.tracks. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
We do. Okay. So let's do already. Let's see if I can get let track response tracks of. I'm just gonna try and get the first one just to see if I can use it correctly. So it's tracks dot. Oh wait, it's not actually external URLs because this one. Album ID. Confused now. Album ID. Go back to this one. Okay, let's try that. And then you see, so I'm going to print it to the console just to see if it's there. In the console, send. Okay, so I get the first one, that's fine. And now what I need to do is basically do that, but for all of them instead of just the first one. And I want to build an object that resembles this.
Yes.
Okay.
You could try it with one or two right now, for the sake of time. You could test it out too if it works.
I mean, let's. I may as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll do tracks. I can actually do this already equals that. And then let me comment that. And then I can do track that for each. Is that a thing? For each. For each track. And then I can do. Do I want to do that? Let me create an object here. Let tracks. What is it going to be? All right. Then we do tracks push of track the album.id. I have no clue what I'm doing. That work?
Let's print the response. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just trial and error.
See. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
So
nice.
I now have an array.
I guess my only concern is that the track ID or is that like because the IDs are tricky because they could either be like that's why I'm saying test it out first because it could maybe
So
not
I
be
might
the
be building it with the wrong thing. Is what you're
wrong thing.
saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change that, and then, I mean, I've already built it that far, so I may as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it needs to be this way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Spotify track, and then plus. That's it, right? Just like this. No, actually, that's fine. Let me try that. Console. So now I have it built the correct way.
Yep.
Spotify track. It's an array. Nice.
And then you want to just add that to the URL.
Yeah. So first, what I need to do, I want to save that as a. So this tracks array, I want to save that as a variable.
Yeah.
Why do you not use map instead of for each? Just a matter of performance. That's a very good question. I would use map if I was not worried of making a fool of myself on stream. I've got enough experience with for each because I've done it for like many years. But yeah, map would probably be like more appropriate here, and it either works. And if you want some streams where we're using maps, there's definitely some in the previous ones. But full disclaimer, I'm coming back from holidays. I forgot everything. Forgot how to Postman. Forgot how to code. Okay, so now I'm going to do pm dot environment. So I'm accessing the environment that we currently have selected.
Yeah.
And I'm going to set a variable that's called tracks as being tracks. So this is likely going to not work. Let me try it.
Yeah. You might need to do something.
The reason being, oh no, it's fine. Nice.
What? Okay. Yeah, I
Okay,
thought
cool.
you might need to stringify it or something.
Yeah, but I guess because it's an array and not an object, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm just checking that it's okay. That's fine. Bless you.
Thanks.
Cool. So we have that, and now I'm gonna use this and use it in add tracks to playlist. And basically, all I have to do is, because I have that string now, I can say, how did I call it again? Tracks. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have a playlist ID. We have tracks. Let's send that. Haha. So it's expecting JSON here. So what? Again, it failed. It says it's an error with parsing JSON. So I'm going to look at the console, which is, if you're using Postman and anything, there's an error, you're not sure what's happening, always go for the console. The reason why is because you can see exactly what's being sent in there. So you can see my bearer token, but you can also see the request body. And basically what it's missing, you can see it's missing the
quotations.
The quotation marks. Yeah, that's the ones.
Yeah.
Right, because let me just double check. Yeah, so it needs quotation marks. Oh, it needs them everywhere though.
Yeah.
How am I going to do that? So I probably need to build them from here.
I think you might need to use some regex.
Can I not escape them this way? Should have been there. And then plus escape. Try trackable plus. And I need one more. Okay. Let's look at my object. Okay, now they have them. So if I send this bad request, payload contains a non-existing ID. So it may have not been the right IDs.
Yeah.
Let's see. But do we know if it's the playlist ID the problem, or?
No, I think it's the Spotify top tracks. I think you might have taken the wrong.
Okay, let's see
whatever ID it was.
Let's see what else we had in there.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not the images we want.
No.
For sure.
Oh, right there, right there, right there. Do you see it? Right. Oh, wait,
Ah,
that's album. But then there's one that says Spotify :tracks.
Spotify. Let's see. We can search for it. Spotify column track. Ah,
Yes, there we go.
that's it.
That's
And where
what I'm
is that
saying.
hiding?
Yeah.
It's in album as well. It's URI. So I
Yeah.
didn't even have to build that
Yeah. Yeah.
string pretty much.
Yep. Yep.
Always doing extra work.
That's why I was like, you should test it out. Test it out, Arlemi.
No, it's not how I work. Okay, so basically out of this, I
You
still
don't
need to
believe
add.
in test-driven development? You're going to tell that to the audience right now?
No, I would not say that. So yeah, that's the one. Then one more, and then this is track URI, right? Just double check. It's track album URI. Okay. If I send this now, look at my environment, Spotify album. Oh wait,
You're getting album. Yeah. What is, I think it's not.
is it not in the album? It is. Spotify track. Oh no, never mind. It's one above. It's directly in the track.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And now, for my next trick,
Woohoo!
we have a 201 created. See, thanks for this initiative. It's very informative.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Happy it helps you. Hopefully you're learning some stuff about APIs, you're learning some stuff about Postman, maybe about programming, who knows. Okay, so we have a snapshot ID, and that's what we want from data one anyway.
Yep.
Response is a snapshot ID, which is place in time for the playlist. What if I look at my playlist now?
Yeah.
Let me do... Where is it?
Nice.
Cool.
Cool.
So now we have a playlist
All
with
of-
the top. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah. So that's pretty good.
It's
I
pretty
think
good.
you did the challenge. Challenge number one. But
Let's do a quick. I just don't want to offend anyone. So now we have built the process. So what we can do, we basically have from this one, I'd say Beyonce as the ID. But the idea is that I should have it that it all runs together. I just have to set the artist ID, and then I can run the collection, and it's going to get the top tracks for Beyonce, create a playlist, and add tracks to the playlist.
yes.
Let's try that. So for this is fine. This doesn't need anything. Oh, actually, this needs the... Oh, we're fine. So we get this. We set the tracks like this. Then we have the playlist. So we can't have the playlist name the same thing. So we can have... what do we get from this one? Do we get an artist name?
We get like all the top tracks, artist names, all of that.
But we do not get the artist name because...
We do. It's in there.
Oh, yeah, well, what we can do instead... oops. Is if people are not aware, we have dynamic variables, so we can generate random stuff. So let's do... Oh, you can hear some sirens.
Let's
Do random... What do we have?
I think we should do random color.
Random color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. It's not an infinite thing, so it might just be the same one several times. Postman playlist, color, Okay. So now it's going to create a new playlist with the name Postman playlist and different color every time.
Yep.
I can make it true. And this time, what we want to do, I didn't save the response. So let me go back to the history. When did I send the create playlist one? This one. I wanted to see what was the response like, so I can save it as a. It doesn't matter. I'll just do it once because we need the playlist ID, which is this one. Test pm.environment.set playlist ID b pm.response.json dot b. Okay, so now I have a variable that is set to be the playlist ID.
Yep.
And in the next call, I get that playlist ID and add the top tracks. So that should work.
That
I
should
guess.
work. Yeah, try it out.
Let's see. I'm a bit worried that it's not going to work, but let's see. Key variable values. I'm going to save the responses because if anything goes wrong, then I can go through and see what happened. Run Spotify top tracks. Okay, so it got the top tracks, created a playlist, and created the tracks to the playlist. So what I can do now, can I access my account and see all my playlists?
Oh, yeah, right there. Color silver, color violet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There
we
we
got
go.
Beyonce. Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Nice. Nice,
So now
nice, nice.
we have a collection that you can just, all you have to do is get your artist ID, and it creates a whole. Where am I? Sorry,
Playlist.
I'm going around. Yeah, and it creates a whole playlist for you with the top tracks from that artist. There's probably
Yeah.
more we could do there.
We could do a lot, but I kind of I feel like you got into a rabbit hole, which is cool. And I think this is like definitely I love that we did this. But we could try doing this with flows as well,
Okay. So
which
we
is
have
a
we
cool
have about.
feature. Now that we have all the pieces.
So let me just quickly see that. I would love to see a challenge with a complex GraphQL API, like a GitHub one if possible. Yeah. We're going to have a GraphQL stream at some point next month or the month after. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream we have like some big changes coming for GraphQL. So whenever this comes out, we'll do some intense GraphQL stuff because we wanna demo everything that we're adding. GitHub is a good one. New Relic is a good one for GraphQL. Yeah, there's a few ones we could use. Okay, so let's use flows. So for those of you who don't know what flows are, Postman flows, it's a little UI thing where without coding, you can place blocks, and each block represents either a request or an action or function, etc. You link them together, and you can build automations, etc. that way. So I'm going to create a new one. I'll call it create Spotify playlist as well, and then get started. So I'm going to add a send request block. I'm going to select my Spotify top tracks. I'm going to make sure I have the correct environment as well. Okay. I guess I'll just do. So I'll send the response to another send request, which is going to be my next one. Playlist. So it's using the same environment, which is nice. And then another send request, which is Spotify. Okay, so let me zoom back once. Okay, so like it's more visible. Would that work?
Let's try it out. I feel like
Or is it just going to create another Beyonce playlist? I don't think I need two Beyonce
Well,
playlists in my Spotify account. Let's see.
no,
So let's
but I
see.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the things with flows, again, if you're not familiar with them, you can actually see what's happening. So you see when I click this start button, you'll see the data flowing through, like this. Oop, it's passing here, it's passing there. And that's it, it's done.
Okay.
And apparently they all succeeded.
Do you want to print it in the terminal?
Let's see. So we can add a terminal here. I'll add a block terminal here.
Mm-hmm.
And then should I link? I can actually link them all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can see, oh, nope, it's not what I wanted to do. Response here. And then one last one. Can actually link to do different places. Oof, I hate this. Oof, it's all over the place. We'll do with that. Okay. Let me start it again and create yet another playlist maybe. And now I can look at the terminal and I can see what happened. So we had a status 200 for getting the top tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. This one's always long. Then what did we have? We had a status 201 for creating the playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had another status 201 for adding to the playlist. So yeah.
Yeah.
This one
But
doesn't have anything in there.
nothing there.
So
Yeah.
something did not work.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So one of the things that I need to recreate if I want to use flows
Is
is,
the logic, right?
yeah, so all of the logic that I have in these tests, so for example, this one to create all of that, is not going to be reflected in the flow. So I need to recreate that using the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually going to scroll through just to show you how much there is in there. Wait, if you give me 1 second. That's fine. So I can go here. So instead of like sending directly to the next request, I can delete that connection. Can I? Wait, I deleted the wrong one. Okay. And then this would go, so the response would go to
For each.
I think, yeah, we have. Yeah, so for each. Oh, there was a loop over list, and I can say, oh,
Yeah.
so for each of.
I think what you'll need to do is save the request output.
Step.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to go and do save response. So then you can infer from that.
Yeah.
I'll save it for all of them. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now it's getting a bit messy. I'm sorry. I'm going to close some stuff. I don't need this. I don't need this. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now it recognizes what my JSON is built as. So it's for each tracks. I usually have an ID in there. No.
For each.
This one.
Yep.
Okay, so for each track ID, what do I do again? For each track ID, I push that to. Oh no, it's actually track.uri.
Yeah.
It's not that one. It's not a problem. Why can I not close it anymore? For each track. It's not finding the URI.
Go down. I think so it's for each I did for body tracks, and then I created a list and it says data URI.
Okay. So you basically say, I take each of these object and then, okay. Well, being cognition of time, I'm not
Yeah,
going to
we
go
have
into that.
like 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Let me just look at some questions. How do I get all of this and previous sessions that have been recorded, please? Thank you. These and
YouTube.
previous sessions, yeah. So I'll actually show you because I'm open here. So youtube.com/postman. Then on here, the playlist called Postman Live, this one, and all of the live streams that we do are available. There's tons, and this is just for 2022. We actually do stream every week, and we've been streaming every week for like the last 2 years and a half. So there's also like a 2020 playlist, 2021 playlist, etc. So tons of stuff. If you're not sure, another thing I recommend doing is going to your channel and search for what you're looking for. So let's say you want to search something that's building with the Salesforce API, search for Salesforce, and you find this stream that we did 11 months ago with Salesforce and this type of stuff. There's tons of different live streams and different content, so that's a great way to get around. Never used the flow feature. Seems to be very interesting for automation stuff. Agreed.
Yeah.
There's a lot more we want to build with flows. This is still a wait. Is it still a beta feature? I'm not even sure. I don't want to say anything wrong. So it might still. I don't think it's beta anymore. So feel free to play around. We actually
Yeah.
have extensive docs now in here, I think. Oops. Go. So you'll have a video that explains what it does. You'll have a definition of all the different blocks, etc., what you can do with them, how you can chain requests. And the last thing we have also is I'm going to send these links in the chat in a minute. Just give me one second. Is flows? Is it flows example? Example flows. So we have this workspace that the team put together, the team that works on Postman flows, and they have a bunch of stuff in here that shows you how to send a request, chain requests, loop and list, do pagination, etc. And if you're interested, you can actually go in there and fork it. So instead of like just watching how it works, let me zoom out a bit. You can go in here and fork it to your own workspace. So I could say stream, bring it to Terra Republic. And now I have this same flow in my own workspace, and I can start playing with it, change the API to be my API, etc. Whenever it loads, obviously. But yeah, and this one is here.
Yeah. I think this one is, we can do a lot of really interesting things with it. It's just being able to play around with the logic here. So here, every block is its own set of logic. You saw Arlemi write all the for loops to get, the right IDs, but here what he'll have to do is kind of play around with like the logic blocks, create a list, kind of do something similar if once he prints out a list of with the Spotify tracks, he can feed that list into the other APIs and chain it and loop it similarly. So yeah, it's just multiple ways to kind of do the same thing. I think Flows tries to be a little bit like no code, low code, but you still have to have like a little bit of an idea of what kind of things you're trying to capture.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think
yeah.
this goes back to, so at the start you actually mentioned this blog that we just published yesterday. I think it talks about like the different type of workspaces, but also like who uses these workspaces, and that kind of shows like how like the different personas that are using Postman. And I think one of them was actually like how different teams use it to like show how you can build stuff. So whether it is like DevRel teams, product managers, etc., they may like use workspaces and flows just to demo what you can build with the APIs. And admittedly, yes, you need to have an idea of how the APIs work, and you need to like maybe do some logic to chain them together. But let's say you're trying to explain what's happening with these different API calls. It's much easier to like show someone this, and you're like, oh, I have that request. The data is passed to the next one, and you can actually see these things that's happening in real time, rather than like either show them code or show them like even like a collection. I guess would be like a bit more complicated to understand. So
Yeah.
that's a great way to like use Postman just to demo things
Visually.
at a very high level.
Yeah. I think I might work on getting this to work, but once we get
Yeah,
it, it'll be in that it'll be in that workspace. So if
yeah.
anyone's interested in getting this automation, feel free to get it working. Feel free to fork it once we get it together. But
So let me make sure I send these links to the chat before them.
yeah, what do you think of this challenge, Arlemi? You did a great job.
Thank you. No, that was very good. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I liked it.
yeah.
And there's always. Let me make sure I send the thing at the right place. Sorry. Yeah. I managed to not like get like made fun of for all the things I listen to.
No,
So that's a great success on
no,
my
you
on
did.
my end.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you did awesome. I feel like this is a great challenge. I guess now all of our viewers have seen how they can automatically add their favorite songs to a playlist in like a couple of clicks. So yeah, feel free to try this out on your own and build your. Arlemy, you have fans. What is this?
yeah, I don't even know who is this. No, it's a friend of mine who just
Oh.
remembered I was alive. Let me actually stop screen sharing, and then we can
Uh-huh.
do the. What do we do now? You tell me.
What do we do now? Today, I think we're pretty much done with the stream. I did you want to showcase anything about Space Camp, some upcoming Space
Yeah.
Camp sort of stuff?
I'm just gonna like go
Hmm.
through what we built,
Hmm.
just in case like anyone
Oh
shows
yeah,
up later and
sorry.
wants to see like a quick. Actually, do you wanna summarize what we built?
Yeah. So I gave Arlemy a challenge, which was to um, get his favorite artists' top tracks and build a playlist with his top tracks using Spotify's APIs. So we were able to automatically use the APIs, get artist IDs, and create a playlist. And Arlene showed how we can create a bunch of random playlists using um, some of the random name generator sort of stuff. So, and then the other challenge was to use flows to do that automatically. So I guess the idea here was that you can work with Postman in multiple ways and play with APIs using collections, but also with flows. And you can pass data pretty easily. So, what do you think overall, Arlemy? Was it tough enough for you? I think the hardest
Yeah.
part was maybe auth, right?
Yeah, it's always oath is always like the tricky one, but yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I I think the I can't remember the last time I actually did one of these challenges on stream. I'm usually
Mm-hmm.
the one who challenges people, and clearly
Mm-hmm.
I was a bit rusty, but
Uh-huh.
that was yeah no that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. So now let me share some of the upcoming stuff that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share my screen again and show. Oops, open the right thing first. Do this. Okay, so if you don't know about it, we have this thing called Postman Space Camp, which is a series of webinars. They're like about an hour long on different topics. Um, if you've missed the start of this live stream, what we've talked about is V10, which is coming up soon. And we actually have a session about different things, what's new. So we might talk about what's going to be new in V10. We might just talk in general what's new in Postman. But it's going to be an hour session, and we're just going to walk through different new features in Postman. So for example, today we've talked about flows, which is pretty new. There's going to be more of this in that session. So if you're interested in knowing what's new, because either you've not really been like following along with like Postman's evolution for the last couple of years, or just you just learned about Postman and you're learning about APIs and you want to know like what these tools can like help you with. That's a session you might want to join. So I'm going to post that in the chat as well. And then let's see. I think we have some more stuff coming up. Okay, so we have tons of stuff. So
Yeah.
next week's live stream, that's actually, I think you're doing it, Pooja, right?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want to talk about it?
So I'll be hosting next week's live stream, which is the state of the API report. We have some really great speakers on the panel. Kin will be on it. Rebecca will be on it. Deepa, who's product manager here, and we're going to be talking about basically, API report that's surveyed by hundreds of developers on all of API topics and what some of the organization priorities are. So that's definitely going to be more of a panel type of session, and definitely check that out, especially if you are in the API first world space. And
Yeah, I think
yeah,
you're being like kind of just hundreds of developer. I think it was like
yeah,
30, was it 35,000,
yeah,
38,000 people?
38th, yeah,
But yeah, a
yeah,
good bunch of
yeah,
a good bunch of people. And then we have a bunch of other events. So we're gonna start like we're gonna start. That's what we do on uh, uh, by default, but we're talking at different conferences. So we have
hmm,
Kevin Swiber, who's going to take part in Cisco webinar on the 8th of September. Heavybit, who's going to have Joyce, I think, our director of developer relations, take part in the panel. And then a bunch of conferences: Open Source Summit Europe in Dublin,
yep,
Ivan Uptime in Amsterdam, API Days Australia in Melbourne, SRE
there's
Days, tons of stuff. We'll be all around to tell you all
yeah,
about Postman. So if you're in any of these places,
yeah,
feel free to join. I'm just going to send you. Uh,
definitely.
if you're
We-
wondering about all of this, yeah, so go to
yeah,
that URL. I'm going to put
I,
it on the
for
screen.
any Chicago-based people, we have DevOps Days Chicago that's happening in September, so I'll be there. So feel free to say hi. I think we'll have like a booth as well. So yeah,
And yeah, so all of these events are on that page. If you scroll big down, there's upcoming Postman events, and you can see all of them, see more details about any of them, how to register for some of these conferences. So if you're in the area, we have some like discounted tickets and
hmm,
sometimes even free tickets. So make sure you like reach out to us in case you'd like to know more. Yeah, I think that's about it.
that's about it. All right. Well, I think this was a lot of fun. Thanks for taking this challenge. You were
Thank
a
you for
champ.
challenging me.
I hope everyone had fun and learned something new. And yeah, feel free to be on the lookout of all the stuff we have going on later this year and some more streams that'll be happening. So thank you everyone for
Thank
joining.
you. Bye bye, and see
Bye
you
bye.
see you next week maybe. Bye bye.
Yes. See you. Bye bye.